And welcome to the second Monday of the month for the NailOn broadcast. We are going to give everyone a few minutes to join the broadcast as everyone notices that it's live. If you would, please feel free to reach down and click the share button and share this on your page so that other nail professionals can find it. And we are going to do the same. Go in and share on our pages. And make sure my volume is muted. It was not.
Well, I don't know if I'm muted or not.
Right? It's always good to make sure our stuff is on mute so it's not like
yeah, so we don't
while
have
you're
that,
trying to go during
that
the broadcast.
goofy feedback.
Right? Alright. Scrolling down the Nails Magazine page.
Oh, look at all these familiar faces logging on. I love it. Good morning, ladies.
Oh, she said, turn our volume up, please. Does it help if we look at the phone when we're talking? Can you hear us okay? Thanks. We're wearing the ties for our debates. We thought we needed to look really official to debate things today.
Professional.
Right?
Yeah.
Chastity, is the volume better for you now, or do we still need to figure out how to tweak that? Not seeing it. Can you guys give us a thumbs up if the volume is okay for everybody? She still can't hear us. All right, we've got a thumbs up. Chastity, make sure that your device is not on mute or that you don't have the volume turned down, because we've got sound for other viewers. Also, you might try refreshing. Sometimes if Facebook does its own random thing, and if you refresh, the volume might work better.
Yes.
Although if she can't hear, she didn't hear me say that. Will you type it in while I'm trying to share, or do you still need to share?
No, I shared.
Okay. So I'm going to quick share while you...
Try hitting refresh.
Yeah, tell her to try hitting refresh. And see if that does it. Because we've got a whole load of thumbs up, so they've got volume. Share to my personal page.
Oh.
Hi everyone that's coming in. Thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have you today. Right now we're just in the process of sharing the broadcast so that everybody gets a chance to watch. And giving people a moment to find out. Oh, she says her volume is up with extra volume. I'm not really sure what other troubleshooting to do besides refresh, are you?
No, Morgan suggested make sure it's not on mute.
Yeah, she says she's got her volume turned up with extra volume.
Let me see. Yep.
Oh,
I can hear it, so.
So
We're sorry,
can
Chastity.
get volume. Yeah, we're not really sure how to help you because we've got volume on our end and our other viewers have volume. Does anyone else have suggestions for her? All right, I just shared it to the NailOn page.
Hope I spelled that right. Okay. You want to share with our watchers why we're all dressed up in our different environment today?
Right, I do. So you'll notice that we have stepped away from the awesome nail studio and we've gone with kind of a blah background. And the reason for that is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm so tired of political commercials. Like,
Yeah.
I have heard, I don't even know what anyone stands for because all I hear them do is complain about other people.
Right.
So we thought it would be kind of refreshing to actually have a good old-fashioned debate. However, because politics are like ex-nay in the salon along with religion. We thought instead of debating politics, we would debate some common things within the nail industry. Because even though we're best friends, we actually do have differing opinions on a few tiny things.
I would say we agree on like 95 to probably 98% of everything.
Right.
But there's like that 2% that we have a little bit differing views. And when we get to our first topic here, this idea for a debate for this first topic actually came up like a year and a half ago. And we discovered probably as many as 5 years ago that we disagree on this particular view.
And I think the most entertaining part of it is we disagree very strongly. Like there is no middle ground. And over the years, we have not been able to persuade each other to one side or the other. It has like remained constantly, passionately a differing opinion.
There's the line and yep.
Exactly. So definitely join sides. Instead of going with colors, we didn't want to accidentally be associated with anything political. So we went with panda and turtle. And we would love to know which side of the debate you agree with. So if you're agreeing with Mel's side of the debate, definitely add commentary. If you're agreeing with my side of the debate, also add commentary. And when you add your comments, or if you don't have anything to add, you just want to be like right on. If you agree with Mel, do a little panda. If you agree with me, do the little turtle. So go down in your emojis and make sure you know where the panda and the turtle are at, because we definitely want to know how you fall in the debate and what your feelings are on some of these common industry things.
Although I would like to add to one of the things about how my analytical brain works is it's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, that I can see both sides of an argument. I still feel more strongly one way or the other, but I can see both points. So even if you agree with both of us, you're like, okay, I can see Holly's point, I can see Mel's point, you can do a turtle and a panda.
Exactly. You can have both. And one of the things that I think the society that we live in is getting away from is you can have differing opinions and still respect each other. So even like she mentioned, it was like 5 years ago that this first issue we noticed was an issue. And like, it's an issue. We have never agreed on it, and we probably will never ever agree on it. And so in spite of that, she's still my best friend. There's not anything I wouldn't do for her. And so I really think that as an industry, we do need to remember it's okay to have different opinions on things and still respect each other.
Exactly.
So if someone uses a different brand than you use, you can still respect them. If someone uses a different process, like dry pedicures versus jetted pedicures, you can still respect them as a fellow professional. So that's definitely one thing to keep in mind, and that we hope you come away from with the debates, is we can have strongly different, passionate feelings about an issue, but we also can still respect each other as an industry.
And well, actually, we should be respecting each other as a humanity and as a country. But this is starting small.
Right? Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Let's rock the industry, and then our industry can show the rest of the world how it's done.
Exactly. When I was years ago, and I used to teach in a cosmetology school, and I taught nails, I used to tease my students that my goal was world domination, one set of nails at a time. So this is, we're still working on world domination through inspiring each and every nail tech and cosmetology professional at a time.
Right? And wouldn't it be cool if like someday we could just be walking down the floors of a trade show and people would be like, NailOn.
NailOn. Yes.
Right?
Oh, I can't wait for those days.
Amazing. Yes. And it's solidarity. It's that we're all friends in the industry.
Even though your philosophies may be a little different in different parts of the industry. But yes, we should all respect each other as nail professionals and as people and as friends.
Absolutely. Speaking of respecting each other, as many of you may know, in the U.S., it was Veterans Day yesterday. And I know that we have different types of celebrations for veterans all around the world. And what we would like to do is take a 3-minute moment of silence to honor veterans all around the world. And what we would like for you to do is type the names into the chat of the veterans that you would like to remember and honor. And while we're having this moment of silence, we will read the names of your veterans. And we've written down the names of our veterans to share with you. And so just during this 3 minutes, put the name of your veterans. You can put my grandpa, my uncle, my brother. You can put their name. You can put their branch of service. Whatever you're comfortable with doing, let's all share. And the 3 minutes gives everyone the opportunity to have time to type in as many names as they need to, because I know some of you come from military families and you're going to have a lot more than just one name to type in.
Okay.
So we're going to set the timer and we're going to observe 3 minutes of silence in honor of veterans all around the world.
Okay, starting now. Like we should be like,
I know, right? Thank you all for participating in that 3 minute moment of silence with us. One of the most powerful things about a moment of silence is it acknowledges the loved ones that have sacrificed everything for their country, and we no longer hear their voices. And so we felt like it was the least we could do to show them that modicum of respect. And we thank all of you for leaving comments of your friends and families and loved ones and all veterans in general and sharing those names with us. Also, once you're watching this as a YouTube broadcast, please feel free to mention the names of your veterans in the YouTube comments as well, so that we can help honor your veterans with additional moments of silence every time we read them.
okay. I know, it made me a little emotional too.
All right.
What she said. Thank you.
Yes.
Do we want
And so many of you I noticed mentioned family, friends, brothers, dads, husbands. And as a military family, we thank you for your sacrifice. It's not just the veteran that sacrifices something, it's the family that gets left behind, or the family that's home alone, the wife that's a single mom while her husband is overseas. So thank you again to our veterans. Whew. All right.
Okay.
So let's talk education. We like to kind of start off the beginning of the broadcast just talking about available education within the industry. And the year is kind of wrapping up. And so most of our educational opportunities are actually going to be for next year. Off the top of my head, I know that there's going to be a nail camp east and west, the usual trade shows. I know that for the Nail Talk Radio Cruise, the signups ended October 22nd. So if you want to keep an eye on that one for the next year, definitely watch out in January for pictures of the cruise so you can be like, oh, that looks like a good time. Maybe I want to do that the next time. So keep an eye out for that. If any of you have favorite networking events that you like to attend, please post a link in the chat conversation, and I will gather those links and post them to the caption when the video is uploaded to YouTube so that everyone has access to the links of those networking events. I know there's a networking event in Oregon. There's one in Rhode Island. There's one in Tennessee. We'll have the Foot Forward Summit in Atlanta again.
Atlanta's getting a nail camp, I believe.
Yes, that's going to be the East Coast Nail Camp. It will be in Atlanta.
Maybe we need to make 2 trips to Atlanta next year.
Right? Oh my gosh. Well, you've got to come to the nail camp out in Vashon Island. It's beautiful. I love just like walking out in the morning and there's all the beautiful trees and the deer just hanging out like right there looking at you like, sup. It's just so awesome. It's so beautiful. Will there be any Houston? Yes, the Best Little Nail Show Texas is going to be in Houston again next year. And she has posted to keep an eye out for dates and information coming up soon on that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Once we have a link available for the Best Little Nail Show Texas, I will definitely add it to our NailOn Facebook page. And do you want to give them a heads up about the social media, and I'll dump links in the chat while you're talking?
Sure. So in our next step to bring NailOn to the masses, we have set up NailOn's own independent social media platforms. We now have a Facebook page, a Instagram page, and Holly is working on, it's a little bit under construction, but Holly is working on a YouTube channel for all of our broadcasts. We've been doing them since March, so we have about 10 or 11, I think.
We have 8 regular broadcasts and 2 bonus broadcasts, so this will be our 9th regular broadcast.
Okay. So those will be up all up on the YouTube channel, so you don't have to search through all of our other social medias. Both Facebook and Instagram are all, it's no spaces, is NailOn with Holly and Mel. If you haven't done so yet, please follow us on there. That way you can see all of our updates for all of our future broadcasts. As of right now, we are scheduling things. Sorry, I'm sounding a little hoarse today. We're scheduling for the second Monday of every month next year. Can we talk about exciting?
I think we should hang on to it.
Okay.
Like, I feel like we should spring it on them for the December broadcast.
Okay, just keep an eye out. There's some exciting things coming in.
We have some really stellar special guests coming up in 2019.
Yes.
We're like, so excited.
It's hard not to talk about, but okay.
Yes.
Next month.
Hold it in. Hold it in.
Okay. Well.
All right, and we do have some requests to come to the Midwest. So guess what? We live in the Midwest. We have a request, come to Minnesota. We're actually in Iowa. So I'm not really sure that there's an actual networking event in the Midwest. There is one in Wisconsin, right?
Oh, I don't know. I know Jenny from Jenny Sukavati from Artistic Nails was trying to set up something to have like an all education weekend of teaching each other nail art techniques. Cool. And she's over in Nebraska.
Brilliant. So Jenny, if you're watching, or we'll also reach out to Jenny, if there ends up being something cool in the Midwest, we will definitely post that because that's going to be in driving distance for us for a change.
Maybe NailOn needs to create something.
If you want to handle the logistics of that, You rock on, because that is a lot of behind the scenes work.
We'll see.
And I already have 6 jobs, thank you. How can we be part of your team? What do you mean by that?
Define our team and what would you like to be a part of, because we love having you with us today.
Yes, we definitely love interaction with our viewers. It's tons of fun. And no worries being late. Always pop in when you can. And for those of you that missed the broadcast, if you're busy, if you're working, because I know with December, some of us are throwing in some Mondays to make extra money while everyone needs holiday nails, you can always catch the recording of the broadcasts. Now they'll be on the NailOn YouTube channel. So we'll always have those available for you.
Okay, we are 20 minutes into our broadcast, so we should
start
probably
debating?
just get down to the actual debate.
All right,
Okay.
let's take a drink.
Get ready.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
All right.
For the first topic, this is where we are absolutely completely divided.
Mm-hmm.
That would be French manicures.
Yes.
Are you on the side of a bright white for your French manicure or a soft white, which I suppose would technically be the American manicure, but which side of the debate do you fall on? Which one are you?
So I strongly feel that if you are going to polish the tips of the nails white, it should be bright white white. It needs to be opaque, it needs to be crisp, and just that nice, vibrant, I got my nails did white.
My side of the story, or my side of the debate, would be a soft white. To me, soft white is more the look of what the natural nail looks like. To me, and this is not to put down the bright white at all, but to me, when you have a bright white for your French, it kind of looks like you painted your nails with white out, just like you would have in high school. Now, normally, not much about me is natural. Obviously, this is not a natural coloring. You know, I wear enhancements. That's not the natural way of things. But for a French manicure is concerned, I just like the soft white better. No, it is not opaque, but I just like the softer look.
I kind of feel like when you're wearing that soft white, even though it might be personal preference, it just looks like you fiddle around with some milk and it like gummed onto your nails. And like it's that murky semi-sheer, so it kind of looks dingy all the time. And it really needs to be that bright, vibrant, like white.
I respect your opinion. Where do you guys all fall on? Are you on the bright white side or the soft white side? And I agree.
Stacy says no French manicures.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Kelly says it depends on the client's skin tone. That does make a difference. It does factor into your opinion. And I see my daughter-in-law sides with you.
Yes.
Bright white.
I knew I loved her for a reason. And really, like, even if you have someone with a warm skin tone and your bright white is a blue-based white, so it's cool, you can bring that sheer pink out over that white and still have the nice opacity of the bright white and warm it up a little bit for the skin tone. That milky, soft white thing is just not working for me.
I do have to say, if I do the traditional bright white on a French manicure, I do like to tone it down with a pink that maybe has a cooler tone to it, like a lavender tint to it, or pink that may have a bit of a peach tone to it to warm it up a little bit. I do like to tone it down. It's just... I had somebody ask me once, well, when would you ever wear a French manicure? And I'm like, maybe when I'm dead.
No. I've solemnly sworn not to let you go to your grave with bad nails.
That's right. We've sworn to each other that we'll make sure each other's nails are that's best friends, you know.
Yes.
Make sure that we...
Yes. You know it's your bestie when they'll do your post-mortem manicure with the right kind of color. We even have our colors picked out.
I see. Your tide of the debate is 10 to win. That's fine. That's fine. Have some apology.
Cool.
Morgan says soft white shows a lack of commitment.
Yes! I love that answer! Woo! Morgan, you should have definitely been like the little person whispering in the earpiece in my ear to give me that one. That was a really good one.
Okay, the fact that I use this hair color shows that I am okay with commitment.
Right?
Right. Okay.
That is epic. So we hope you had fun with that part of the debate. It's definitely kind of an either or. We feel really strongly about it, and as you can see, we strongly disagree. And I can respect that there's a place for soft white. It's just not on my clients.
There was one time a number of years ago, after we discovered our disagreement, I was actually attending one of Holly's classes, and as she's up there demoing how to do a nice, crisp smile line, she gets all done, and the class is supposed to be taking notes, whatever. She looks over at me and goes, and the girl across the table from me is, why is Holly sticking her tongue out at you? I'm like, well, let me explain on break.
Right, it's a bright white thing.
Or baby boomer. If you say that kind of goes into both.
It does.
Yes.
Baby boomer is definitely a compromise because it starts with bright white at the end and softens into the soft white and ombres into the pink.
Yes.
So baby boomer is the perfect combination of the two of us.
Okay, so we kind of see that she may have been more on this side of the debate. That's fine. I'm okay with being a minority. I'm okay with being on the lower end of the spectrum. I don't fit into a lot of typical normal categories anyway, so I'm good with that.
Well, who knows? Some of the other topics they may agree with you.
We'll see.
We'll have to see. I like Morgan's response. If people want soft white, she just talks softly while she plays cream puff. I'm gonna enlist that tip. If I talk softly, does that make it soft white?
Okay, I will have to say one thing that we do agree on when it comes to the French manicure is deepening your smile line.
Yes.
I've had clients come in and say, well, can you make that straighter across?
No.
Like, I could, but let me explain to you why I prefer not.
Yes.
So that's like wearing wide stripes right across here, and nobody likes that.
Yes. Like, remember those tube belts that everyone used to wear right across their hips? It's like, yeah, no.
No.
That's not cute. That went out of style for a reason. And it is sometimes, I will even go as far as polishing one nail straight across and polishing another nail with a good smile and telling them, do you notice how this like straight across smile line kind of makes it look like there's a sausage with a chiclet on the end of it? But on this one with a little bit deeper smile line, your finger looks long and thin. And as soon as you mention long and thin, no one is like, no, please like make my fingers look fat.
I will demo both.
Yes.
So let me show you the
demoing
difference.
Definitely, and we definitely agree on smile lines when it comes to that.
Okay, so that first topic in the books.
We've put the debate to bed.
I'd say bright white. This one goes to bright white.
Brilliant.
Do you want to
Thank you, people. Mwah.
Our next one is liquid and powder enhancements versus gel enhancements.
And this is definitely something that is typically more of a choice dependent on the type of nails your client has. So a lot of times you're going to offer both services and prescribe what they need for their natural nail. So the debate is more in good fun for product versus product when it comes to liquid and powder and gel.
This
and
isn't
it's more about workability than it is about which product your client should wear.
Or which one. There's no right or wrong. Just like the French, there's no right or wrong. And we both see the benefits of both.
Yes.
But I personally, my talents are, and my skill level is more towards the liquid and powder side. I feel more comfortable with the liquid and powder. I'm better at the workability of it, making a better shaped enhancement, all over shape, over arch, under arch, free edge. That's just where I'm more comfortable at.
I feel like gel is definitely the way to go because you open up that jar of gel and that bad boy has got the perfect mix ratio ready to go. There's no, it's a little humid today, so I'm gonna have to pick up my bead a little differently, or it's really cold today, so I'm gonna have to pick up my bead a little differently.
Yes.
The gel is always perfect in the jar, ready to go mix ratio. So there's no faffing about.
Faff about.
They taught me that in the UK. I love that word. It makes me happy.
One of the pros that I like for liquid and powder is there's no light needed. I don't have to be near an outlet to make sure I can do my product. So I don't have to have the special equipment that way. The con to it is there is the odor with some liquids have more odor to it than others, and I do give you the mix ratio. If you have an issue with mix ratio, gel is definitely an easier product for you to use. I kind of feel that strength-wise, for the strength of your enhancement, I feel liquid and powder is a little bit can be a little bit stronger or tougher depending on the liquid that you use.
Mm-hmm. I can kind of see that. However, because gel has more flexibility, I feel like it has the same amount of strength that liquid and powder has. And I also like having the light for the gel, because with liquid and powder, it's like aerobics. Man, bam, you got to get that done. And gel is yoga. You can relax. And gel is so cool because the more slow and deliberate you work with it, the faster it moves into place for you. Whereas with liquid and powder, you're like, bam, 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 bam. You gotta like work really fast before it hardens up on you. And so gel, as someone that works a little slower and more meticulously, gel gives me the opportunity to kind of do my thing and work my jam, and it's like all happy before I put it in the lamp.
And when I do work with liquid and powder, I guess I'm more like my decision making. Done. This is how it is. I don't. Once the decision is made and once it's played, that's it. I'm good. Moving on.
I kind of feel like gel also gives me that really great crystal clarity and some solvent resistance. I love using a hard gel so that you don't have that discoloration from solvents that you can sometimes get with liquid and powder. And it just is that really beautiful glass finish, and it's weightless and odorless, so my clients aren't going, that smells. Even though they have a smelly perm on their head, they're still whining about the nails. And so gel definitely gets me away from that.
Yes. I will say one of the pros for gel, to at least a lot of the gel lines out there, is if somebody's going to have an allergic reaction or a skin reaction, the chances are much, much lower for a gel product than it would be for a liquid and powder.
And generally the reactions to the liquid and powder, nail professionals, would be overexposure to the skin. And because the gel already has the correct mix ratio, I feel like it's easier to manipulate it into place without getting it on the skin. Whereas if you're using your liquid and powder too wet or too runny, it's constantly flooding onto the skin.
With the liquid and powder, if you're a heavier touch with your brush, gel's not always the easiest to manipulate. You need to have a much lighter touch with the brush. With liquid and powder, I just like how I can press it into place better if I'm a rougher touch or a more pressured touch with my brush.
So I feel like you're saying if you're not as indecisive, that liquid and powder is for the people that are less indecisive, and gel is for the people that need a moment.
Which would kind of come back to our personalities again.
Yes. So I see that we have some joiners in here. Joyce, we actually technically don't recommend specific brands on the show because this falls under Nails Magazine. We personally are education ambassadors for C&D, so of course we use C&D products. However, we do feel that there are a lot of amazing products out there. And so I will throw the question of what brands do you prefer out to the viewers so that you can get an idea of the variety of brands available that people love. Victoria says L&P is less fussy. Some people can't wear gel, it doesn't stay, and heat spikes have gel, and she said the faffing about is ridiculous. So it looks like Victoria agrees with the panda side of the argument.
Although I do see a comment here from Jana about polygel. I do not have really any experience with polygel. How do you feel about that?
So the polygel is really kind of a combination of liquid and powder technology and gel technology. And what I find fascinating about it is that it does have a lot of the same press and guide technique to it that a liquid and powder would have, yet it also has some of that clarity and a slight amount more solvent resistance like the gel. So it's really kind of a blend of the two technologies. I do find that with polygel, it's extremely important that you use your brush angle, or you're going to do a lot of filing the same as you would with regular liquid and powder. So when you're applying that polygel, it's really pressing it like you mean it, getting that zone 1 angled down to taper towards the edge. And in that zone 3 at the back, really bringing your brush up and pressing it down to get that taper towards the cuticle line so that you're not having that little jump that they can get the lifting on. So I feel like polygel is a really interesting product in that combination of the technologies, but your brush angle is really crucial. Also, a tip from Sandy from Harmony, who created the actual product called polygel, because polygel is also the name for the product category, said her most helpful tip is to not overuse the slip or the product that you use to keep being able to move the brush around. So if you are having polygel issues, make sure that you're not overusing that liquid, because that can also lead to overexposure and lifting. Kimberly loves the odor of liquid and powder. Rock on, girl. That's fantastic. Hard gel all the way. Yay, we have some more. Oh, Morgan says LMP is more intuitive. She's better at it, but can't use it in the salon. Yes, Victoria, faffing about is totally Nail Geek. It was the Nail Geeks that taught me how to say that. Because I would tell them, I would be like, it's not wipe fresh, it's not pat fresh, it's not dilly dally fresh. And they're like, what? And I'm like, dink around, waste time. And they're like, oh, you mean faff about? I'm like, of course that's what I meant, yes. Faff about. So how now I say faff about. Right. So let's see the turtles and pandas for liquid and powder versus gel. Liquid and powder, pandas, gel, turtles. And it's more about the texture, the workability, than the compatibility on the clients, because again, which one you choose for your clients is going to depend on what they do for a living, what their hobbies are, what their natural nail condition is, and so on.
Well, I also feel like if you're a student just starting out, the investment in liquid and powder can be a little bit less, since you don't have to buy what the light that goes with your particular line of products. So you don't want to go out and buy an generic light. You want it to go. So that can be a little bit of a factor. And I think too, if you learn on liquid and powder, it's an easier transition to move over to gel than learning on gel and trying to move over and liquid and powder. I recommend that nail techs learn both, but sometimes liquid and powder can be the easier start off point.
Right. And definitely if you learn gel first, you are not going to like liquid and powder.
No.
Because it's a lot easier to learn how to use a more gentle touch than to learn how to use a more aggressive touch. And the gel is so much floating in the surface, barely hovering, and the liquid and powder is really pressing and guiding. So I definitely agree that liquid and powder would be the easier one to learn first if you're going to do both. And I'm seeing a lot of pandas. So it looks like you win that debate.
Yes. And I know some people have sided with you on the first topic and me. So we're kind of even. We're kind of neck and neck here.
Yep, I think it's going pretty even so far.
Okay, so next topic. Since we've talked about liquid and powder and gel, we're actually going to talk enhancements versus natural nails. Would you like to start off with this one?
I would love to. So my argument against natural nails is it's easy. Like, I can throw some polish on and it's good to go for a week or so, maybe longer, maybe a little less, depending on if I remember to wear gloves when I did the dishes. And the natural nail is just so low maintenance.
I am not necessarily about low maintenance. I don't know if I would call myself high maintenance, but I'm
channeling Doug. She's high maintenance.
With enhancements, I love your artistic and your freedom of your vision and your freedom of how you want them to look. I love how you can make them any length or any shape that you want. I love the artistic ability on more of a canvas to work on. I have clients and people ask me, why do you wear your nails so long? Like, well, I've got more room for art. I've got more room I can show off the glitter. I can make them as subtle as I like. I can make them as dramatic as I like. With when I'm wearing enhancements, whether they be liquid and powder or gel, your color doesn't chip off like it would on, and have the possibility to chip off like you would on a natural nail. I don't need to worry as much about wearing gloves when I do dishes. Not that I like do dishes, but you know. So I'm definitely pro enhancements.
Before gel polish, I would have been more inclined to agree with that. But now that we have gel polish, I feel like when it comes to artistic freedoms, gel polish has really leveled the playing field for natural nails. So
Yes.
I think that natural nails have the ability now to be a lot more amazing and awesome and have that design durability for 2 weeks, the same as enhancements. So again, I'm kind of coming back to that whole timing thing. You know, it will take me an hour or two to do my own nails, depending on the complication of the design and how much help I have from my 12-year-old. And so then I kind of still feel like nails are just less maintenance when they're natural, especially now that we have gel polish to level the artistic playing field.
I will acknowledge that one. I just prefer the dramatic look of enhancements. I prefer to wear them longer. I like them more pointed, or also with enhancements, I think they can provide a better protection for the weak and brittle nails, because gel polishes are not necessarily a one size fits all. I'm sure we've all had those clients that no matter how hard we try, just the gel polishes just don't necessarily want to stay on their nails. Sometimes they need that extra step of the liquid and powder or a hard gel enhancement.
Yeah. So there are some clients that do not fit the mold of a gel polish, but overall I feel like the vast majority of them can. Especially now that we have options to kind of customize the gel polishes, you know, using something with a strengthening top coat or using something that has a slightly strengthening foundation. And we're just kind of coming in there and we're removing completely and reapplying completely every time, so it's easier to change the overall look. Whereas if they're doing glitters and colors within the enhancement, you're stuck filing it down for 200 years before you can change your artistic design. So I feel like wrapping them up and having that extra consultation time while they're in the remover wraps is really handy.
I'm probably going to get yelled at for this one, but I actually very gently, loosely wrap my enhancements if I have a gel polish on them. I find that if I do that and I leave it on just for a matter of seconds, I can wipe it off just like it was on natural nails. So I don't have that file time, and that seems to work just fine for me. I see we have a comment here like from Jessica. She says natural nails are very high maintenance. Those babies are fragile like tissue paper sometimes. That's my point of making maybe your fragile nails might need a little bit more strength.
Yeah, and I suppose the natural nail enhancement argument, besides the surface things that we kind of slightly disagree on, would more come down to your client. Like, my natural nails have this really wicked fabulous arch that kind of looks like an enhancement, and this really amazing C-curve that also kind of looks like an enhancement. So my natural nails look like enhancements, but they're natural nails. And so that makes me a really big contender for natural nails. Nail polish is going to last a week or two on me. I can usually wear Vinylux, or I've had Essie when I've gotten nails done in the airport or what have you. And so nail polish just wears really well on me because of my natural nail shape. So I do think that it would be important to know what your client is getting into and what your client is got for their natural nail base. Because I do have one client, and I compare her natural nails to a croissant all the time. They're like these flaky layers of flake. And so she definitely is more a contender for an enhancement than a natural nail. As much as she would like to be a natural nail contender, it's just not a thing.
Right.
So I do think it probably comes down to the client themselves. And Victoria brings up a good point. If you have someone that's really determined to wear natural nails, you can add in IBX. And I'm comfortable mentioning IBX because there is no other product like it on the market. So it's not like we're disincluding someone by only mentioning that. It basically bonds together the surface layers of the nail plate, so then you do get a better wear of regular nail polish or gel polish.
And my natural nails are flat. The croissant, they're more flaky, and they ski jump. You know, they want to do one of these rather than a nice one of these. So I can camouflage that better and work that better to my advantage with enhancements.
I like Morgan. She says, I live in Maine, home of low maintenance. Natural Here says I've given up because it's polish free. So for those of you that live in those really low maintenance areas where people do like to go without polish, then definitely something you can offer them is a hydration service where they're coming in and they're doing a scrub and a mask and a massage, because that's definitely just basic maintenance. You can also teach them, you know, make sure that when you're filing your own nails at home that you're using a 240 grit file. It's also important to have your cuticle work done properly, teaching them what's the eponychium and the proximal nail fold, and reminding them, please don't trim this at home because it is living tissue. You know how the last time when you picked at it, it got kind of thick and hard. That's because it's callousing. And so you can even offer those DIY or low maintenance people a quarterly manicure just to kind of basically keep up on some of that maintenance. Naughty panda girl soaking up the polish. You did get in trouble.
It works for me. Especially I like some of the top coats that are a quick soak off, because it doesn't affect the enhancement itself. Because that I've I guess perfected it, at least for my use, that it doesn't deteriorate the enhancement itself.
Nice. And Victoria said some people are just tanks with their nails, so
yes.
they've got to have enhancements. Yes. And I would definitely agree with that. One of the original educators that I learned from, Crystal, used to always say that client that's the bull in a china shop. And I think that would definitely apply to some of the clients. And Jenny, there are definitely some people that have recommended some products for you to try in the comments. I see we have a few ideas from people on other products, and if you would pretty please refrain from saying that something is healthier than something else, because unless you can give us some scientific facts to prove that, generally healthier is a marketing term and not always 100% accurate. Healthier can also be subjective to opinion. So please be careful using terms like that, because it can kind of come across as bashing, and we want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable with the products that they use and that we all respect each other in that aspect. So if you would just kind of avoid that specific type of verbiage, we would really appreciate it. Yeah, that's great, Morgan. A manicure of housekeeping that's basically just keeping their nails nice. That's a great idea. So I kind of feel like we have solved the discussion of enhancements versus natural nails. Yep. And really, even though we have differing opinions on which one we like, it all comes down to the actual client activities and nails.
And this is where your client consultation is so important, to find out what is best for that individual client, and being able to offer multiple types of nail services to fit each client.
Yes. This is where knowing a lot of things really comes in handy so that you can customize.
Jessica says she has a client she accuses of juggling chainsaws.
That's awesome. I can only imagine what those nails look like when they come in for a rebalance.
I have to add it under that thought of what it looks like she does in her free time. The best excuse, or at least the one that was probably the most interesting excuse I've ever gotten from a client on, and this is probably going to open up a whole new discussion, so we won't go into it real long, but the best excuse I've ever had on why somebody's nails came back trashed was a college student. She was home one weekend, gave her a gel polish. She came back 2 weeks later with her mother, and there was no free edge, no extension edge. They were ragged. They looked just like she'd been playing with chainsaws. I was like, Catherine, what did you do? She's a student at the University of Iowa. She was helping clean mammoth bones, woolly mammoth bones that they had found here in Iowa. Like, okay, that has to be the hands down the best and coolest excuse.
I'm totally forgiving you.
You got a pass for that one.
That's awesome. Definitely leave some of your like best excuse ever stories in the comments, and we'll read them after the broadcast.
Okay, so our second to last topic.
Our final official debate topic. The last one is to be fun.
Yes, the nails topic is employee versus booth renting.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think I went first last time.
Okay. I'm an employee in a salon. One of the benefits I like about that is several things. I don't have to purchase any of my own products. I do have some input on what my salon purchases, so I get to use the products that I like. So my salon owner is very good about that. I don't have to, another thing, I don't have to deal with my own taxes. I don't have to deal with my own insurance, like liability insurance. I don't have the overhead of rent, utilities, those kind of things. I have, in my particular salon, and this isn't necessarily every salon, I do get some paid vacation time, and I do have medical insurance available to me that I don't have to purchase completely independently on my own. I have a front desk that takes the phone calls and makes the appointments for me, so I don't have to take time out of that. I like being able to leave work and leave work at work. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about when I get home and taking care of all of those things. I see the benefit of the other side, but in this particular point in my life, I am okay with being an employee. And in my particular salon, I absolutely love the view I have out of my window at work. I have a pond and everything out, and if I were to try and go rent a space somewhere, I don't think I could find that anyplace else.
No. That view is pretty stellar. She does have a killer view at her salon. I am more of a booth rent person. I like to walk in, pay my rent check, and everything is my way. So I get to choose the products that I use. I don't have to worry about someone coming in and being like, oh, we're going to use this brand today. And I'm like, what? No. So I get to choose the products that I use. I don't have to worry about any like figuring out how the paycheck is divided, because my paycheck, like the clients pay me directly, so I can basically earn the maximum amount because I'm just paying rent. I can also have my own name within the salon instead of being under the salon name. So if, for instance, you're working in a salon called the Hairport, which is where I work, then you can be the fingernail fixer at the Hairport instead of, where do you do nails? I do nails at the Hairport. And no one assumes when they hear that name that there would even be a nail person there. So I like being able to have my own name within the business. Also being able to just cut a check in booth rent. I get to set my own hours. I don't have to feel guilty if I need to take a day off to travel for teaching. I also have the ability to choose what I want to retail so that it actually is in line with what my clients want. It doesn't have to be something that I either ethically disagree with or disagree with on principle, because it's always my choice. And as far as the view is concerned, I'm there 2 days every other week. I don't need really a killer view, and I kind of feel like the trade-off for being able to write a check and do everything my way is absolutely worth it, because I can set my prices and I can change my prices when I need to so that I get appropriate raises in a timely fashion. And I can schedule my clients the way I want to. Because my clients are scheduling by text message, I don't have to take an appointment over lunch because someone booked a client into my lunch, because it's me. I get to make sure that my clients are booked the way I want them. So I kind of feel like there's a huge benefit to booth rent, because you still don't have the burdens of actually owning a salon, but you get all the perks of being an owner. How do you guys feel about it?
As far as the retail, one of the benefits that I like about I work in a full service salon. We have hair, we have a massage, we have aesthetics, we have 4 pedicure thrones that I didn't have to purchase myself. But with the hair and the aesthetics, there's a whole lot more variety of retail to sell. Even if they're my clients, I get credit for their retail, and I don't have to provide that whole wide variety of skincare products and hair care products. And our salon always brings in fun things for the holidays, jewelry to purchase, and there's usually some sort of candy or food. So the variety of retail is wider at my option, or to just the availability.
That makes sense. Oh, wow. Kelly's been self-employed for 25 years. And Beth has gone from a booth renter to working at home. So she's into owning her own business. Stacy posted turtles. Whoop, whoop. What else do we have going on? Victoria and Lori, if you want to continue that discussion, I would really appreciate if you guys would take that to a private message so we can keep the conversation here really respectful. Yeah, I kind of feel like somebody telling me what to do is kind of hard. So booth rent is definitely for me. But Jessica's got pandas going. So I kind of feel like we have a little bit of equality on this one. We've got some that are definitely pro booth rent, some that are pro employee, and several that are like, hey, I own my salon. That's the way to go. So we've definitely got a lot of different varieties. Awesome. So I like the variety in that. I think it's really a wide variety. And again, there's no right or wrong, whether you choose to own a salon, booth rent, or be an employee in the salon. It's what's personally best for you.
Yes.
Because I do have to go out and find my own liability insurance. I am fortunate enough to be married, so I have my spouse's medical insurance. So definitely if you don't have a second person for medical insurance, that's something that you have to take into consideration. Kathy says she was 14 years a booth renter, and the first 9 months she had a schedule with no one bossing her around. Oh, Kimberly says no booth renting in Pennsylvania. This makes me sad.
Oh.
Boo. That would be harsh. So yeah, it looks like I think we tie on that one.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, it's not necessarily I like this best and you like this best. It's what is best for your personal
what's
living.
best for your personality.
Yes, and your lifestyle, and whether you're on your own or whether you have the time available to. It's just what works best for your life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
And please make sure that you do have liability insurance. Those of you that aren't covered by liability insurance under the salon that you work in, it's really important that you personally carry a liability insurance. Because if someone should trip and fall on the snow and ice if you live in the north, or if someone should slip and fall getting out of their pedicure chair, or any other number of things that are possible, not necessarily likely, but possible. We do live in a very litigious society, so chances are really good they're going to try and sue you for the rest of their life's income so that they don't have to work. So it's really important, even though your clients love you and they're your bestest friends in the whole world, they will sue you. So it's really important to carry liability insurance. Just a little side PSA.
That's right. All right, are we ready for the last one?
Yes, we're ready for the final debate.
Okay, we really got to
All right.
loosen up on this one. This one's kind of...
This one's hardcore. We need to be able to breathe to really duke it out.
Okay, because I know people really feel strongly about this one.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Do you want an answer, or do you want me to?
I think I want to take it. So, it's that time of year.
It is.
Every fall, you must decide to pumpkin spice or not to pumpkin spice. Everything must be pumpkin spice. Oh my God, it's so delicious. You can get pumpkin spice Pop-Tarts. You can get pumpkin spice Starbucks. You can get pumpkin spice Special K. Anything pumpkin spice. Oh my gosh, they even make Life cereal pumpkin spice. It's
Next thing
fantastic.
you know, they're going to be toothpaste that's pumpkin spice.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I would love that. I even have pumpkin spice protein because I have to drink protein shakes, and I found pumpkin spice protein. It is like drinking pumpkin spice. It's amazing. So we need to know, turtles or pandas, pumpkin spice. You can have pumpkin spice tea.
No. Nope. All that pumpkin spice stuff is just lost on me. You can keep the flavors, you can keep the smell, just no.
Oh, I didn't even think about the smell. Yes, pumpkin spice candles, pumpkin spice car freshener, pumpkin spice bath bombs, pumpkin spice lotion. I love when Hemp's comes out with their pumpkin spice lotion. I'm like slathered in it every day so that I can just walk around and be like, I smell like pumpkin spice. I always smell delicious.
Is that what that is?
It is. Oh, I don't know. That's a lot of pandas, Stacey.
I'm just not a
Where
fan.
are my turtles? Give me some turtles. She wants to drop a pumpkin on someone's head.
And let's just get this out there. Notice it's called pumpkin spice because pumpkin isn't actually in it. It's the
Right.
spices that they use to make the pumpkin pie. You know, your
And
nutmeg.
I'm not even
and-
sure why they call it pumpkin spice because pumpkins don't smell like that at all.
No.
They don't smell like that. They don't taste like that.
No.
Like I don't know. It needs to be called something else. But oh my gosh, as soon as I start seeing pumpkin spice anything, I'm like, ah.
And I look at things being like, oh God, it's that time again.
And I feel like the pumpkin spice season was a little longer this year than it usually is. I think it started a little bit before the beginning of October.
Well, fall did start in September.
Fair, but usually pumpkin spice doesn't start until later in October, I feel like.
Well, and here shortly after Thanksgiving is over, it's going to be mint everything.
Yes.
I can get more on board with the mint, but just not a fan of
Yes.
pumpkin spice.
Skinny peppermint hot chocolate, sugar-free.
Nice.
It's pretty yummy. It's not as
See?
amazing as pumpkin spice, but it's pretty yummy.
All right.
They even had Russell Stover pumpkin spice caramel chocolates. Pumpkin spice. Yay! Someone put turtles! Whoop, whoop!
Although I do think I'm seeing more pandas here.
Yeah, Kathy does say that I lose. Boo. Well, at least someone loves me enough to put turtles because they feel sorry for me. Yay! Beth put turtles too! Whoop whoop!
And if my daughter-in-law Michelle is still watching, I know you feel strongly on this, but I don't remember which side of the debate you were on, so please remind me.
Right, put turtles or pandas. Oh yeah, cinnamon smells are definitely amazing, Beth. Good call on that. So we are coming to the end of the show. We hope you enjoyed our version of debates, and we love that in the industry we have the ability to agree and disagree at the same time because many of the things we debated on are both right. Actually, everything we debated on are both right.
Right.
They're both right. It's just what's right for your clients depending on their lifestyle, their habits, their natural nail condition, and all of that fun stuff. So we hope even though we kind of went at a debate aspect out of it, that you got some ideas for maybe which products are going to be more ideal for which clients from the points that we brought up in the debate.
And even if it helps you, whichever side of the debate you're on, hopefully the way we discussed it and the way we presented the information, it can help you see the other side, to understand the other side. Because I think understanding is the way to acceptance and respect.
Yes. And definitely even if you disagree on something like the soft white versus the bright white, that is something we will never ever agree on, but that does not make her opinion any less valid, and it does not make soft white any less of an amazing option for the right client. So definitely remembering that we can all show each other some love and respect, even if we have a difference of opinion, is a really important thing for our industry.
Absolutely.
So thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you took the time to join in on the broadcast.
And thank you for everybody chiming in. This was
yes,
fun.
we loved having your ideas and opinions and joining sides. We would love to have any suggestions that you have for future topics, any suggestions that you have for future guests, because we are definitely excited about some guests that we have lined up for next year. And until the second Monday in December at 11 a.m. Nail on. Oh, now I gotta climb out from under the table.
Yeah, our seats are lower than usual.
Oh, we can get out of these ties.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, look at all the hearts. Yay, we love you guys.